Many people feel that Demetrius Johnson is the MMA GOAT. Many people feel that the MMA Guru is YouTube's MMA GOAT, and the two of them collaborated for a show called The Mighty Guru, and that show on YouTube does monster views. Their latest episode, which dropped a few days ago, is already up to 350,000 views, but it has all come to an end. The MMA Guru announced on Twitter after a wild storm of backlash from some recent comments from UFC 322 that the show has been canceled. I'll read the official statement here in a minute, but he has basically said there's been too much pressure on DJ, too much backlash for partnering with me, too much insight from fighters, and too much not welcome thoughts from people all over the place. The show is officially done. And this is kind of interesting news because these are two different spectrums of the world, right? An actual fighter, one of the best to ever do it, a fan who worked his ass off, built a giant following. They put a show together, and the show was doing well view-wise, but obviously behind the scenes, it seems as if fighters were not okay with it, media's not okay with it, and DJ was probably getting it from all ends other than the YouTube views they were getting. I actually watched an MMA Guru show about you. He tore your ass down a couple of times. What are your thoughts on him?
I've never seen one episode. I couldn't tell you other than someone sending me a clip about how he said I didn't know something about something. And
he did a whole ass episode on you.
Yeah,
like a whole 45-minute Josh Thompson sucks.
People send me stuff all the time. Like, that's the thing. People send me stuff all the time. You know, I read the comments in my own section, but I don't go to other people's and read their comments. I don't go to other people's. Like, if I like you and I know you, then I'll watch your show. You'll see me every once in a while jump on your live stuff when we want picks. I jump on there. I'll throw in a couple little I'll chime in a little bit here and there, throw some shade, throw some love, do a little bit of that. But it's all in fun and good games. But with him, let's just be honest. He blew up his platform. And like I said, I don't know anything about him. I don't know how he got started. People have told me that he kind of just blew up during COVID. Like, it was during that time when there was, that he started a show. He basically said that he could do it. He could probably do what these analysts were doing. During COVID, he jumped on YouTube and created a platform. Good on him. I think that's absolutely amazing. I'm going to support a guy that's going to go ahead and do something like that. Okay, absolutely. But what happened was, he was very from what I understand. This is, like I said, from what I understand, he's very over the top with all of his opinions, like to the extreme, yelling into the camera. I've seen some of these things that people have shared through like Instagram and X and other places. And it's like him screaming at the camera and him like being over dramatic. And I get it. Look, there's a market for that. Obviously, he's got however many followers, and he's getting big views on his show, which is good. Good for him. What happens, though, is that when a real fighter like DJ and somebody who has a personality and a image or brand that he's created over the years of being the nice guy, the good guy, and then merges with him, you're going to get backlash, not just from the fighters, but from the hardcore fans. My channel at We Want Picks, because I built it up with Big John, our guys are all hardcore. They fucking ride me about having you on there, and you're nowhere near.
Yeah, you're talking about weighing in. Yeah, because you went from like all-time ref to like best looking guy. It's a very dramatic jump
with no hair. Yeah, best looking guy with no hair.
I mean, it's there.
It's the Tuma in the front. But that's the problem. Like, not the problem. I shouldn't even say it's a problem because it's a good thing for him. He has acquired all the casuals and the haters, people that love to hate, and that's good. There's plenty of them out there. We know that. It doesn't matter whether if it's politics, if it's football, NBA, or MMA. Okay, there's haters out there. He has acquired almost every single hater there is out there that loves to hate. He likes to throw mud and loves to sling mud at fighters and Dana and the promotion and the UFC, and he would back when it was Bellator and whatever it was. He would throw shade at it all, and people love that. They love to hate on something they can jump on the bandwagon and agree with. He has attracted that market. The problem is, like, my channel is all hardcore fans. This channel is going to be a little bit of both because we built it up this way. Like, you have that casual type.
I mean, like, hating on stuff. It's interesting, like, because there's hater in the old school sense of like, you're just a miserable prick and you don't want to see somebody else succeed. And then there's hater in like like how like how I hate Grant Dawson. That guy's boring as shit, and I will not miss an opportunity to poke a jab at him. There are different levels too, because so I get where you're coming from. I have a little bit of a different sort of view on it all, because I think I have watched MMA Guru content. I consume content for my show. We want picks. I have to do graphics, and it takes hours to do the graphics. And while I'm doing graphics, I am consuming content on another screen, just listening or watching or what have you. I do a lot of Luke Thomas. I would do weighing in, and I do Guru depending on the topic. What he did a great job of is during COVID, when everybody's channels were benefiting from extra views, he was going live every day. Every day. He was live for hour after hour after hour. And so he built this following of people that could just, especially during a time where this sounds absurd, but during a time where like life was pretty uncertain for a lot of people. Like if you go outside and you catch a cold, you might die. So people were consuming content, staying home. UFC was the only sport on TV giving you some semblance of comfort. And somebody who he is funny, he is very articulate, he can make a point. Like Guru is an effective communicator. And during those, that year or two when he was live every day for many, many hours, the channel blew up. And he's one of the few people that benefited. Like my show didn't exist till after COVID, so we didn't benefit from the boost. But a lot of people benefited from the COVID boost and then suffered when life went back to normal. He didn't, because he continued to work his ass off. So if I'm going to give him credit, he works his ass off. Like this is not easy to do all day, every day, sacrifice any semblance of a normal life. If every single Saturday you are live for 7 hours straight, and then every day during the week you're like, it's a lot of intense work that people will never sort of recognize. What I think sort of benefited him and went off the rails a little bit is he would have over the top reactions and over the top, like this guy effing sucks and blah, 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 blah. And it would do well because, it's entertaining to some people. And then the problem is when you grow based off of being extreme and loud, you have to be more extreme and more loud and more ridiculous and push the envelope farther and farther and farther to continue to grow at that pace. And I think that's what ended up happening here, because what he has been doing over the last couple of years is digging at Dagestanis, right? Like, oh, it's a girl, throw him off a cliff. Like, oh, it can't shoot a takedown, throw him off a cliff. Not inbred enough. Like, just he would make comments like that. But then it has to go farther. And it has to go farther because it's not shocking enough. And he has to push, push, push. And it seems, according to the internet, he's pushed a little too far here. And I think DJ's had enough, or DJ's getting too much pressure behind the scenes and he's stuck defending his relationship with somebody.
Yeah, he's gonna have to defend that relationship. And look, I love DJ. I think DJ is great for the sport. He carries himself very respectfully. You don't see him out there running cars into other women, and breaking their legs like that, right?
Just
like,
a random John Jones.
Yeah, I mean, but like, let's be honest, right? Like when we all go back, like you're not out there doing shit like that. DJ is a good representation of the sport, and then you merge with somebody who is calling Muslims inbred and this and that, and then on top of it, what really lost me, and I never even, like I said, never watched his show. Not 1 second have I ever clicked onto his channel and been like,
I have.
hey, let me see.
But you didn't watch the John Jones is gay video?
No.
I think it did like millions of views. And that was like borderline investigative journalism.
Okay. What pissed me off, what really bothered me, and you guys, everyone that listens to this and everyone that even on my own channel knows, I'm not a Michael Chandler fan. The Michael Chandler jab at his kids, I'm like, I'll never have respect for you. I don't give a shit if it's about a podcast, whatever. If you're out there doing it for clickbait, that's the lamest shit I've ever. Leave people's families and kids out of it, dude. Like, come on. Like it just is. There's an area for it, and in this, for me, I felt like this is not the time. This is not the area. What are you doing? I'm not a Michael Chandler fan at all. Okay, but I'll never take jabs at his wife or his kids. That's not what we do. And I think that's where when you and this is something with Habib, man. I'm going to point this out. I had Conor McGregor on my podcast when we first started it. And Habib was very upset. And I didn't know that it would bother him that much. And him and I had to sit down and actually have a talk. Like he wouldn't wouldn't reply to me in Texas. He wouldn't it would nothing for a while. And I just found out through the grapevine that he was really
Yeah,
upset.
like, what's
I
this
didn't
guy's
realize.
problem? Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't realize that it bothered him that much. I'm like, dude, you literally fucking punched a hole in his face. Like, I didn't think it would bother you that we had him on. And it was lesson learned. And then you see the other things that Habib does too, with like when he did with he said he'll never be friends with John Jones because DC is not friends with John Jones. Those are things that are important to a lot of people. With DJ, your hardcore fans hold you on a pedestal. And then you go and do a show with a guy that is not respected at all whatsoever in the sport. You're going to lose a lot of those hardcore fans, or you're going to end up with problems like this. And not just from the fans. Now he's attacking fighters in the way that is just very, very disrespectful. Now those fighters will not relate themselves to DJ. They'll be like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to even be near you. I don't want to talk to you. I won't do interviews with you. And that's what the problem is. I did see a ton of comments talking about, there was something I posted about Habib or whatever. And then somebody said, can you believe Guru said these things about Habib? And I never didn't even look it up. I just I don't care. I'm never going to meet the guy. I'm never going to be on his show. What's the point? So I just left it as is. But they're like, all the other comments below that is, can't believe DJ does a show with him. Can't believe DJ's giving this guy a platform. Can't believe and that's where you're going to lose your fans. And you're going to lose the respect that you've worked so hard to do, all for what? Clicks? That's where the problem lies.
It isn't. It's an interesting dynamic for a few different reasons. So one, let me back up for the Michael Chandler thing. So I guess the story I told here is he built up a large following by working his ass off, staying wildly consistent, and just being there and being busy and being active. Then he would get some success with some of the more wild reactions, and then that's not enough. So you have to get more wild and more wild and more wild, right? He's had two big breakthroughs. One was just peak COVID, huge breakthrough, and then consistent growth after that. The other was the John Jones is gay video. That was a massive breakthrough for him because that thing did huge numbers. It was like everywhere. And it actually was a decent video. It was funny. It was like well done. It was content wise, decent content. And I'm using the word content on purpose. Then, because that was so successful, just imagine you have a wildly viral video that gets millions of views, the most you could ever imagine. And you're like, well, I got to do that again. What's the next topic? That's when he did the Michael Chandler video. And I agree. The Michael Chandler video is like, you're not even making fun of Michael Chandler.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do Michael Chandler sucks and Michael Chandler, that's fine. You are literally like, it's about race. It's about his children. Like it did get weird. But the point I was making earlier is I think it was literally, what's the next? I pushed it. It worked. I got to push it farther. I got to push it. What's the next topic that I have to do a video like this on? So then he did the Michael Chandler video. That is what just happened recently. So why he's getting quote unquote canceled. And let me be very clear. The MMA Guru is not getting canceled. His show with Mighty Mouse, they're ending it. The Guru said in his statement, which I'll read in a second, says, this wasn't based on Twitter backlash. It was already brewing. And that probably is true. I have to imagine it has been brewing for a while. But he would get reactions. Like he went viral with that whole story that he told, they have a child in Dagestan, and if he can't wrestle, they throw him off a cliff. If it's a girl, they throw it off a cliff. That whole story. And that did well. So now at UFC 322, his reaction to Islam winning was like very, very religious hate based. And that's just not going to resonate with everybody. Because even people who find it funny in the moment can recognize with some reasonable, like, yeah, that's kind of, that's literally like, that's actual hate. That's not online hater stuff. So that's where the Twitter backlash came from. And over the last couple of days, it's been like bad for Guru, like millions of impressions on Twitter of people being like, this guy is loaded with hate. He's disgusting, etc. Here's Guru's like official tweet, if you will, from a couple hours ago. This is Guru talking. I was fine with you. I guess we can curse on here, right? This isn't broadcast TV. I was fine with you pussies on here acting like I was a murderer because I called somebody inbred and told some guy spamming in my live chat to cry at a border. Now you're targeting DJ. I'll drop the news early. The Mighty Guru show is over. DJ stood his base. The video is dropping soon. The border comment is because he was going in on like Gaza and like that. He 100% crossed a few social lines there. Then he followed that up with, I get it. A lot of pussy bitch victims on here crying about a donation from 2019 and words, that's key, on a live stream. But how does DJ collaborate with this guy? That stuff's got to stop. We spoke right after the pod dropped about it. I messaged him the other day saying, I'm good to back down. I don't quite know what that means. And then he said, it's fine. DJ's got to stay loyal to the fighters, and he can't do that with me talking all this shit about them all the time. It's gay as fuck. Those bitches cried on here, or it would have been announced next episode, but it is what it is. This wasn't based on Twitter backlash. It was brewing. So that's sort of his in-flight official statement. What I will say, though, is, and I'm going to kick this to you as a question, I feel that this is all a persona, right? I feel this is a persona. I feel what MMA Guru is a persona. The exaggerated, I'm sure it's him. Like he's funny, he's witty, he can make an articulate point, stuff like that. But it's a persona. It's an online persona. If that guy Schmo, you know Schmo, if that guy Schmo said some crazy shit while talking like Schmo, wearing the Schmo outfit, would he get this backlash? I don't think so. So it is interesting that it's DJ, how could you do something with him? And it's not just like, that's not who he is. It's a character he plays for YouTube.
That doesn't make it more right. Like you're trying to, no, it does not.
Do you watch, did you see Inglorious Bastards?
Yeah, I did.
Did you watch that and the people playing the Nazis and be like, that guy's a Nazi in real life? No, he's an actor playing a part. I could be dead wrong. I feel that's what Guru's doing. I feel it's an act.
That show
actually feel these things.
Those movies are scripted, written, directed, produced, and all work together for millions and millions of dollars. This guy's doing it on his own platform that he creates, and he has the availability to edit that whenever he chooses to. This is what I think happened. He did really well during COVID, blew up, did the John Jones thing. Probably hated John Jones because of all the things John did. A lot of people don't like John because of the things that he's done outside the cage. And he did that clip or whatever it was you were talking about and destroyed John. Okay. Blew it up. All of that happened though, but then that got him to the next level. And just like everyone else, a little bit of that power, a little bit of that popularity went to his head. And he thought he could just say and do whatever the hell he wants. And now people are giving him backlash, and the people that are surrounding him and supporting him are going to get backlash too from the real MMA community. The MMA community is a small community. The hardcore fans, the hardcore MMA fans, I don't think watch him. I don't think pay attention to him. It's the ones that, like, when they're bored with their day, there's millions of them out there that are bored with their day and they want to hear some sort of like, oh, I hate Muslims, they go to him. Oh, I hate black people, they go to him. That's how you want to build your platform? You go right ahead, buddy. It's disgusting. Now, like, I don't know him personally. Maybe he's not really that way. Okay, but the problem is you have one of the all-time legends, people that consider one of the GOATs. You just did it yesterday when we were talking about it. You said it again today. You think DJ is one of the GOATs.
Yep.
Giving him that platform and supporting that platform, even though they're just words, you're going to piss off a lot of people. A lot of people that you spent your life trying to get to be on your side by being a true mixed martial artist. And not only that, here's the thing. And DJ did a really great job when he went out and was visiting with Islam and Habib and training and then you go and you do a show with a guy who says the thing that he just said. And like I said, I've had this. Connor said
your example is perfect because it's the exact same example.
Exact same thing.
Actually, lesser than you had a guest on one time. You didn't build something.
Yeah, I had him on one time, and that was it. And that maybe there was a little bit more to it because Habib and I were really good friends. Legit training partners. Legit, like he was young. He helped me a lot coming up as on my towards the end of my career, and I was helping him a lot when he was on his come up. Maybe that's what it was. It could have been like we are real friends. DJ is like in passing, hey, I know you're a great fighter, and like I lost a lot of respect for you. Like, can I do that kind of thing? I get it. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's Habib being legit with me, like, hey, we're brothers. Like, we can't do this. You know, I don't know if it was the same way with DJ, but I can't imagine that I can't imagine that fighters haven't spoke out to DJ and be like, bro, what are you doing? Like,
I have to imagine there's a ton of that because so what is interesting is so Guru's got a massive following. I'm sure many people who watch your weighing in podcast, We Want Picks, this show are also fans of his. It has to be like at the volume and scale that guy does content.
I think there's less. You have a hardcore betting base for We Want Picks. This will be this channel, Bad Takes. We'll do probably a little bit more of the casual take, a little bit here and there, and have fun because we have a lot of good banter. I dig on you, you dig on me, those kind of things. That's where I think we're going to, a lot of our listeners probably listen to him. My Wayne In show, I doubt it.
Yours is very, yours is, yeah. I mean, weighing in is not as opinion heavy, or the opinions are very specific about the fights and not just.
Yeah, I'm not trying to take
is this guy gay?
I'm not trying to take digs at guys. I got respect for every single fighter that walks in there. I could dislike Michael Chandler and still think, man, the guy's a dog. Still one of the most entertaining fighters to ever step foot in the cage. I could take digs at John Jones all the time about what he does outside the cage. I can't say shit about what he does in the cage. He's a fucking one of the, if not the greatest to ever do it. So you've got to give those fighters respect, and I think that's where the problem lies. You got a guy. I don't even. People keep telling me he's like 6'4", 270 or something.
He posted a picture. So what was interesting with his rise is just sitting in the same chair in the same room with the same whatever, right? And everybody just assumed that he was in a wheelchair, or at least that's where the rumors went. And then he had Dricus du Plessis on. Then he visited Dricus in South Africa, and they're standing next to each other. It's like, oh, he's fucking big. He's probably my size.
Oh, really?
Like 6'3", wide, like wow. Big dude. So yeah, he's at least seemingly, because he was next to DDP, pretty big dude. But what I find interesting about it, whether you love the guy or hate the guy, like I could recognize all sides of that. I have watched some of the content. I genuinely feel, regardless of his beliefs, whether they're genuine or not, I genuinely think that he is funny and an effective communicator. Not everything he says is funny, right? Some of the stuff he says is vile. And I've got I'm from the Northeast. I'm from an immigrant family in the Northeast. We'd say some shit. Like I'm very thick skinned. But some of the stuff he says, I'm like,
that's sure you are.
2 C's. But I can recognize like he's an effective communicator and he's funny. What is interesting about all of this though is I bet this benefits him long-term because he was untouchable as far as real sponsors were concerned. He was untouchable as far as any real MMA media was concerned. And it's because of the shit he says. Like some of it is just no sponsor is going to give you money and alienate entire cultures of people because of the things that he says. So his only avenue to make any real money in the space is through, super chats and Google ads and things like that, which is very successful for a lot of people. When he did the show with DJ, I would argue that Demetrius Johnson benefited more from that than MMA Guru. I don't know. I would assume that 80% of the people that watched the Mighty Guru show already knew who Guru was.
Whose platform was it on?
Both. Well, now it's YouTube has the collab feature. I don't know whose it started on. I think it started on DJ's platform.
Yeah, but DJ has like 1.8 million followers or something.
He's got a lot, and all of his interviews with Guru did more views than any other videos he was doing. I would argue that he benefited more from the relationship with Guru than vice versa. Obviously, DJ gave Guru a bit of legitimacy, like holy shit, like this is, and you know what? In their combined content, he's not the same guy. In their combined content,
did see that. I wanted to
talks like me. He's normal. He's witty.
Yeah, I saw a clip where the two of them were talking about something, and he all of a sudden lost the voice of being aggressive. He was like talking like you, but in a British fucked up accent, like and just it was completely different. He was literally having a conversation. But he
had decent insight.
You brought up something though, I think like a couple weeks ago or a month ago maybe, and you said him doing a show with DJ may do well, but he also may lose some of his fans or his support because he's a fraud. Because you didn't say he's a fraud, but it's fake. It's all fake. Like his persona is all fake.
I think it's a
Says
persona for sure.
wild, crazy, says retarded things, and then turns around. And then when you get him in front of a fighter or you get him in front of an interviewer or somebody, and he all of a sudden flips a switch and now he's this prim and proper guy. So he's nothing like he really is. But the problem is though, is you're allowing yourself to get to that level, which means deep down inside, something really is you. That's the problem. Like you can't tell me
Well,
you
you
turn it
have the
on.
courage. You have to have the courage, and
You
not all
call that
courage is
courage. I call it
I was
stupidity.
just saying, not all courage is good courage, is what I was about to say. But you do have to have the balls to say some wild shit, knowing there may be some backlash. So yeah, and I wouldn't say uh, to have multiple personas is a fraud. I would say he reads the room, and when it's just him on his show, he knows his audience, and he's gonna throw him off, just say wild shit. And then when he's with somebody else in their room, I'm not gonna be as wild. That would be a crazy thing to do. He's done all of that really well. He clearly crossed a few lines. It has triggered a lot of people, and the backlash is point. He is getting destroyed on Twitter right now. And the point I was making before is he's untouchable with sponsors, untouchable with any sort of meaningful outlet. YouTube is his only real outlet for, content creation and generating revenue. And he's got to be careful there too, because you're a couple random words away from a community guideline issue. So it it is short term, probably a huge hit. And I'm sure I'm sure if you gave him the option to back up and undo it, he would. But I bet long term it benefits him, because I don't think he was benefiting as much from hanging around with DJ as DJ was from him. And I'm sure his actual fans will double down. There might even be new fans that popped up that have similar views. And now DJ might get backlash, because you know how these hives work.
That's
So
for
it's
sure is
it's
gonna
a
happen.
wild environment.
He's gonna get backlash and he's gonna lose support amongst his group of people. He will, 100% he will. And all that really happened though is that it seems like he was given credibility by DJ. When DJ allowed himself
Yes.
to go on that platform, and I love DJ, but when he allowed himself to go on that platform and do multiple shows with him and support him and joining a show together, you're basically condoning the things that he says in between the week. You are who you associate yourself with. You're guilty by association. And unfortunately, like whether he's playing a persona or not, like no one wants to hang around fucking Colby Covington anymore. There's a
He did.
reason.
You know what's really sad about that? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, change the topic, but real quick, I'm gonna fucking do it. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna do it anyway. You know what's what's really sad about that is, you know how Brendan Schaub had that whole eat food truck
Yeah,
something, was it diary something?
yeah, food
He would
truck.
eat, yeah, and he would interview somebody, and the one that Kobe Covington was on, so it was Brendan Schaub, Kobe Covington eating at a food truck. That's like porn for me at that point. They're just eating tacos. um, he was asking Kobe about the persona, and Kobe's very honest. He's like, "This is fake. This is all fake. Like I make it all
Well,
up."
it's Colby, right? It's not Kobe.
I know. I always add the L.
Okay.
Um, he's like, "This is all fake. I don't actually feel this way, or at least not to these extremes. Like I was gaining some traction, so I leaned into it, and which that's fine. Admitting a persona is a persona, no big deal. But then where it gets sad is he was like, I have family members that don't talk to me anymore, like actual family members that I love and care about, don't talk to me anymore because of things I've said while in character. And I've told them that's not who I actually, I don't feel that way, grandma. And like, that's sad when that stuff starts to happen. It's like, this is messing up your real life. And people either aren't able to or don't care to see that that's not actually, it's an act, especially when it's on YouTube, where, the example I used before was a movie that's clearly fake. YouTube's not as obvious what's fake, what isn't fake. And that's the Kobe Covington example you gave is good, because that's what Guru is dealing with right now. People not realizing what's real, what's fake. And even if it is fake, some of the shit he said is way too fucked up to say, fake or otherwise. Like, you shouldn't say that.
Yeah, I mean, any fighter that associates themselves with him is gonna get backlash. Like you're giving this guy an even bigger platform than he's already created. He's created one with hate. That's really what it is. Like I'm sure there was some great content during COVID
Yeah.
when he got too big for his britches, started growing the channel. Felt like he could go ahead and just say and do whatever he wants. You know, he puts you, like you said, I haven't seen the John Jones thing, but you're like the fifth or sixth person I think that's brought it up to me and said that he put together a pretty good argument
It
with
was
all
a
these old,
well
like these old tweets and all these other old videos and
literally, it's like it's I don't want to say investigative journalism, but like he literally like it was comedy. Like I found it very funny. I didn't leave it being like this might be true. This is groundbreaking, but it was well done and well put together. And he's had like these like random clips from 10 years ago of John Jones at like a bar in Albuquerque making jokes about touching dudes. It's like, whoa, where did you even get this? And he it all comes down to he's an effective communicator. And when you can be an effective communicator, you can build an audience. And then he leaned into what the audience was enjoying. And the audience was enjoying a lot of prim and proper MMA YouTube. And then he's like, fuck it. I'll be the person that says some of the things you think and then a million things you didn't think of. And that's how he got as big as he is.
where do you think they go from here? I mean, do you think they're really going to cancel the show? DJ, he said DJ is going to stand on his base. I mean, I think that's ill advised. But look, you're a grown man. Do what you want. DJ said some pretty wild shit on some other platforms.
Like
You
what?
know, did the RG3 conversation talking about, you know, because his brother's gay. I think DJ's brother's gay or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
He was talking about gays and this and that, like don't bring the gay stuff around
Gotcha.
the kids, something along those lines. You know, but he says some things on his own shows. Like it's not like he's Mr. Clean these days, which is
Sure.
good. But
We're also
any
talking about professional fighters, not
yes,
like this isn't
well, look,
exactly
the more you talk, the more you put yourself out there, the more
yeah,
people are going to use against you. Okay. The thing is Guru to me is when you stepped over the line with the Chandler situation, then you're going on to about the Muslim situation and talking about it's gotten you're taking what people don't like. They don't like that Islam is so dominant. They didn't like that Habib was so dominant. They don't like that Umar is basically next in line for a title shot. They don't like that Usman's having success in PFL. Like they don't like that. They don't like that style. They don't like Muslims, or they don't like Russians, or they don't like Dagestanis. They don't like wrestling, whatever it is. There's a reason why they don't like him, but then he feeds into that. I know people don't like this. I'm going to go ahead and say the most wild and
sure.
craziest shit. Right. And that's what he does. But there's also got to be a line, I think, a little bit, unless that's really who you are. Because I feel like, look, there's a lot of things that I just would never say.
No, you just text them to me. Here, I'll read a few.
Go ahead. There's just things that I just could never get myself to say. I could never say something about someone else's kids. And it flew off his tongue like it was
It
something.
was racial too. The
Yeah.
racial part of it is what like it was racial, not just pointing out that they were different races. Like he got like legit racial with it. That was what surprised me the most about. And I don't know the guy, so I'm not going to defend him and like it's all an act. He's not this, but I'm also not going to railroad him because maybe it isn't.
Sounds like
I
we're
don't know him.
defending him. Sure
I'm not
sounds
defending him.
like for him.
I'm providing an alternative view that like I agree all the shit he's saying is messed up, whatever. But to me, DJ has some accountability in that it is kind of a weird move to align with DJ. Guru's the same guy now as he was a year ago. Like to align with him and then back off of it because of the backlash. It's like, well, but you knew what you got yourself into. So you either deal with the backlash or you don't make that partnership to begin with. It felt like a greedy, oh, I had him on my show. That was groundbreaking. It got monster views. Yeah, come back on. Come back. Let's just do a show together. And it's getting huge views, huge views. So your morals didn't matter then, but then you get a little too much heat. Maybe you didn't get I don't know, but maybe you didn't get sponsors because sponsors are like, dude, I'm not fucking like when like Hayabusa works with us at We Want Picks. You think if they saw a clip of me saying insane shit about a giant portion of their customer base, they'd be like, yeah, Angelo, like, here's stuff. Let's work together. Of course not. So DJ might have been getting backlash from his actual sponsors as well. And he's sponsored by freaking Microsoft.
Shit up.
And then you have Guru, like I'm sure there was that kind of backlash. Obviously, fighters when they bump into him, like, dude, what? And he probably did some defending, like he's not like that. That's all fake, But there is accountability. Like you did this partnership because you were greedy and there was green, and then you get a little backlash. It's not, the juice isn't worth the squeeze anymore. Forget it. Guru was the same guy. Like, he said some vile shit after Islam won, but he has said those things before. That's not new. He didn't just say it for the first time ever. And I wouldn't call this cancel culture either, because Guru's not canceled. His own channel will do more views now than it did before. Like, it's not cancel
You think
culture.
so?
100% positive.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
No news is bad news if you're a freaking online personality streamer. Like,
I
views are
don't
views.
see. I don't see the rub. I don't see why people are attracted to negativity. I don't get it. Like, what?
I
What
do.
is it?
You
What
don't.
is
You don't
it?
get that.
What is it about tearing somebody else down and their success? Like,
I
what
have
is it?
called
What
you
is it about?
short
Is
so
it?
many times. I know, but it's funny. You banter. It's
Is it
it.
funny?
I find it,
I
well, not for
mean,
you because you're
literally
short.
once this fight hits the ground, it's over, buddy. I'm tapping you the fuck out. It's done. So,
I get.
you know
We
what I
all
would
hate something.
you know what I would do though, Angelo?
What?
You're what, 6'3", 6'4", 275? I would literally put you against what's this other guy's name? The Guru. I'd put you and him. Apparently someone said he trains too. I've heard this.
I
Maybe
have
he
no
doesn't.
idea if
I
he
don't know.
trains. I don't know when. He's
You're a
on the internet all
sandbagging
day.
blue belt. I would love to put you against the British poodle-haired kid, right? He's got really like he doesn't even wear like an old like 19.
I would trade my hair for his any day of the fucking week. I'll tell you that, dude.
Does he have long hair?
It's thick and long. It's great. Yeah, it's great hair. The guy sucks. His hair is
So
fantastic.
crazy how those words came out of your mouth. It's thick, it's long.
Veiny.
Very gross. You're wild, man.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what happens if DJ continues on, because I'm sure there is a lot of backlash from the MMA fighters, but as well as the hardcore MMA fans. And like you said, no one's gonna touch Guru with a 10-foot pole if you're a sponsor. So good luck getting sponsors with them with DJ, right? Like this starts affecting your own sponsors as well.
I imagine there was an element of that because the views were astronomical. Like the views, they've only done a few episodes that showed together. The views were spectacular. So in that regard, it was going well. But once it spills from just that show to other stuff DJ's doing, now it gets a little harder and harder to defend. But again, he knew what he was getting himself into. He got himself into it and then was shocked at the bet. Like, come on, you knew what was going on. They said they're going to do like an official, like they'll do one final episode and talk through it. I'm very curious to hear what DJ has to say. I want to hear his side of it. Like, yeah, guys, it would be refreshing if he was as honest as like, listen, I knew you said some crazy shit. I don't care because I don't get offended. I didn't realize the entirety of the rest of the world cared. So it's just getting harder and harder for me to do anything because of you. We can't do the show together anymore, but I got no beef with you. That would be like actually a refreshing to hear. Right? Like, wouldn't you want it as honest as possible?
I learned a lot. Like, I consider myself to be a very loyal person, and it really bothered me when Habib said, "Hey, like I was really upset. It really bothered me that you had him on, brother with brothers, and that bothers. I don't want my friends to ever feel that way about me.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been called at, fucking 2 a.m. by Luke Rockhold because he wrecked his truck on a fucking Mountain Mike's pizza curb and it was teeter-tottering in there. At 2 a.m, I went back and I drove an hour out to pick him up. Like, I want my friends to be able to think of me that way. If you need me at any time, you need my shirt, I'll give it right off my back. I don't give a fuck. Okay.
If anybody needs a boys medium shirt and you are friends with Josh, he's got it.
Small medium. It's small medium. But I don't want to be associated with. At this stage of my life, I'm too old to have friends that are like this. I don't want to be associated with shit like that. And that's just me.
Yeah.
I don't need the headaches and the drama. I enjoy doing my pod. I enjoy having these conversations with you, Angelo. I'll stick up for you because I know who you are as a person. You do say some wild and fucking crazy shit.
What you say that I say is wild is like, this guy sucks. Criticizing fight skills is very different than someone's personal life. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, if you started talking about people's kids, I just wouldn't do a show with you. Like,
but I have kids, so I would never do that.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
So
that's where I'm at on this is I would like to see what DJ has to say. That's really what it comes down to. And hopefully, look, either something has to change with Guru, which I don't think it will. He'll continue to do his show. He'll continue being wild and crazy and just over the top because that's what gets him clicks and that's what gets him. But you have seen, I haven't seen, but like you said, he's not the same guy on the show. I saw a short little like 60-second clip on Instagram where he was talking like he was a fucking proper British guy versus fucking some Neanderthal. You know what I mean? Like a completely different person. So that being said, though, but like you can't say the things you say on your own show and then turn around and expect people to forget it. You said it fucking less than 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
So if
Well, and to your point, if you build a platform on hate, whether and hate's a very wide spectrum from burning crosses in lawns to just being like that guy sucks. Hate's a broad term, but if you build your platform on any part of that spectrum, you have to expect it when it comes back your way.
well,
Like go ahead.
no, look, this is what I want to say is like with DJ, right? It's gonna ruin some of his connections because we did this with AKA. Somebody said something bad about Cain Velasquez. And that guy came in and asked if he could interview Koscheck for his title fight against GSP. And we said,
And
fuck
they're
off.
like, no, oh really?
You're not even allowed in our gym anymore. So that should put it in perspective. Like if you have a team like American Top Team or Killcliff's not exactly a team. They have a group of fighters. They're all managed by different people. But
Yeah.
American Top Team, they're all managed by different people, but they're a family. Like they've been together for a long time. They have that family type feel to them. But good luck. Like if someone says something about Kayla Harrison or Dustin Poirier in that gym, like those guys have been in or Masvidal, like no way. Think of what they did with Kobe, man. They kicked him out of the gym. They're like,
And Kobe was like, guys, this is a persona. I don't mean it. Like, get the fuck out. I don't care.
right.
You can't say that.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's kind of where you're at right now. Is DJ's got to start thinking too. Like if I'm going to keep doing a podcast, I'm going to keep trying to get interviews with fighters. Either I can't do it with this guy because of the things he's going to say. He's going to attack other fighters. There'll be new fighters for him to attack.
Yeah.
Think about if he starts attacking these female fighters and starts saying some fucking crazy shit there. That's when a lot of the MMA fighters will start getting a little bit more defensive, being like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
No, and then gym owners will start saying, "Nah, man, we're good. You do a show with that guy, we're not going to do it." Like, and that's what the effect will happen. It'll affect DJ more than it'll affect him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the fallout is, and who benefits or doesn't benefit from this. Because I think DJ is going to get the initial. Like right now, there's a Twitter hate storm aimed at Guru for what he said, and it's easy to pile on the big dog, right?
Mhm.
Smaller creators are everybody's high and mighty. They're all piling on him. Then when their show is done, the Guru fans, who still has a tremendous base, the people piling on him aren't his own fans that are revolting. They're other people that didn't like him to begin with that now have the opportunity to pile on. His actual fans are going to direct their own hate at DJ. Like, you're soft, you couldn't handle, like whatever it is. And so DJ is going to feel it. And it's just going to be a hive bouncing all over the place. But it is very interesting circumstances. I'm curious to see what more comes of it. I hope DJ, and it seems like a pretty honest dude. I hope he's as like open and transparent as possible. Like, yeah, here's the problem. I actually didn't mind filming the content, but no sponsors would come anywhere near us. None. And my existing sponsors were threatening to leave. And I can't be associated with this if that's how far he's going to push it on his own platform. And that type of honesty would actually do him a lot of good too, because Guru's own fans could recognize like, okay, yeah, this guy's trying to make a living.
Yeah, I think that DJ has spent too much time throughout his 20 years of being a fighter, of building up a good reputation of being a good dude, to let this one guy ruin it. It's just not worth it, man. All for what? Clicks?
Yeah.
Hard pass. Especially when sponsors not picking you up because of the wild shit that comes out of his mouth. No, I'll pass. And look, the last thing I'm going to say on this is that, like I said, it'll end up affecting DJ more so than it'll affect, because he is the MMA community. DJ is, the hardcores are going to follow him, not the hardcore. The hardcores can come and go with the other guy. It doesn't, but the true MMA community is going to go, man, I lost a lot of respect for you, and you didn't spend all that time building that up just so it can be lost over a couple clicks or a couple shows or whatever it is for some guy you don't even know. You don't know him. Like, you know him through casual conversations.
Yeah.
You guys have filmed together. Woo woo. You're not giving him your shirt off your back, right? You're not writing checks to him. You're not giving him your first roll.
You keep
So,
mentioning shirts, and
you got me.
I bought you a damn shirt.
A Moneyberg shirt, huh?
I know. I've worn mine, and people are like, "Why are you wearing that guy?" It's like, dude, I didn't take money. I gave him money. I bought the shirt. I didn't take money from him.
Wild.
It's
Oh,
ironic at this point.
I'm just gonna have
Guys,
that hang it up in the background somewhere.
swap out that Hank Aaron jersey,
Oh man.
guys. That I was gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay. Guys, that was Josh's ridiculous opinion on this topic. Let us know what you think. No, genuinely, what are your thoughts on this? Is the guru just a persona that is getting taken a little too seriously for the things that he says? Is that actually who he is? Should it affect DJ? Should it not? Should that show be canceled? Did you even know who he was or care? Let us know what you guys think. My name is Angelo. This is Josh Thompson. That was another Bad Takes.